Chosen one, if you've been feeling attacked, delayed, emotionally drained, or like invisible battles have been surrounding your life lately, then this message is not a coincidence. Archangel Michael says the battle against you is over, but before your victory fully arrives, there are signs, secrets, and spiritual shifts you must understand first, because what looked like punishment was actually protection, and what your enemies thought would destroy you is about to become the reason you rise stronger than ever. Stay until the end, because Michael's final warning could change the way you see everything happening in your life right now. There is a reason you clicked on this message today. Michael says nothing about this moment is random. Out of all the videos you could have watched, out of all the distractions around you, somehow your spirit was led here. And that is because heaven knows how tired you have become. Not just physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. You have been carrying battles that nobody fully understands. Smiling in front of people while silently fighting heaviness inside your soul. Trying to stay strong while secretly wondering how much longer you can keep going. Michael says he has seen every silent tear, every sleepless night, every moment you questioned your worth, every moment you felt abandoned. And today, he is sending this message to remind you that the war surrounding your life is finally beginning to break. But before you fully understand why the battle is ending, you must first understand why it started. Because chosen one, ordinary people do not face this level of spiritual resistance. There is something different about your spirit, something powerful connected to your future, something darkness recognized before you recognized it yourself. That is why your path has felt unusually heavy. Michael says there were seasons where you felt like life was constantly testing you. Whenever you tried to move forward, something pushed you backward. Whenever you started healing, new pain suddenly appeared. Whenever you felt hope returning, disappointment followed again. And slowly, exhaustion entered your spirit. You began asking questions nobody around you could answer. Why does everything feel so difficult? Why do I feel different from everyone else? Why do people misunderstand me so easily? Why do I feel emotionally attacked even when I try to stay peaceful? Michael says the answer is deeper than you realize. You were never fighting only physical battles. There were spiritual forces trying to delay your growth, trying to weaken your confidence, trying to drain your energy before your breakthrough arrived. Because darkness understood something you were still learning about yourself. Your future carries purpose, and purpose attracts resistance. Chosen one, think about everything you survived already. The betrayals, the rejection, the emotional pain, the loneliness, the silent battles nobody ever saw. There were moments when you almost gave up completely, moments when you felt emotionally numb, moments when you became so tired that even praying felt difficult. But somehow you were still standing. Michael says that alone should tell you something important. You were protected even during the moments you thought heaven had forgotten you. There were attacks you never saw because they were blocked before reaching you. There were traps prepared against your future that failed silently. There were people who secretly hoped your life would fall apart. Yet somehow you continued surviving. Not because you were lucky, because heaven refused to abandon you. Michael says many chosen ones misunderstand isolation. They think isolation means punishment, but many times isolation is protection. Heaven separated you from people who could not go where your destiny is leading you. Some relationships ended because they were draining your spirit. Some opportunities disappeared because they were distractions in disguise. Some delays happened because you were not meant to arrive broken into your next season. Michael says what hurt you was also preparing you. That heartbreak taught discernment. That betrayal taught wisdom. That loneliness taught spiritual strength. And now, slowly, you are becoming someone different. More aware, more spiritually sensitive, more careful with your energy. You are no longer comfortable around chaos the way you once were. You no longer feel connected to fake energy. You no longer want constant drama around your life. Michael says this is a sign that your spirit is awakening. The battle changed you, but it did not destroy you. In fact, it revealed strength inside you that even you did not know existed. Chosen one, there were nights where darkness expected you to collapse emotionally. but you survived. There were seasons where the enemy expected fear to completely control your mind, but you survived. There were moments where people secretly celebrated your struggles because they assumed your story was ending, but you survived. And Michael says your survival frustrated darkness itself, because what was supposed to destroy you accidentally made you stronger. Now listen carefully. This next part is important. Michael says the reason the attacks became so intense recently is because your breakthrough became close. Darkness becomes louder when it realizes it is losing control over someone's destiny. That heaviness you felt recently, that emotional pressure, that confusion, that exhaustion, it was the final stage of a battle that is now beginning to end. Because heaven is shifting something around your life. Doors are about to open differently. Your thinking is changing. Your spirit is becoming clearer. Your discernment is becoming stronger. And people who underestimated you are going to become confused by your transformation. Michael says they expected pain to break your spirit forever, but instead pain awakened you. You are not the same person you were 1 year ago. Your heart sees differently now. Your soul understands differently now. And even though the battle exhausted you, it also prepared you for the life that is coming next. Chosen one, do not ignore this season. Do not ignore these signs, because Michael says the chapter of constant warfare is finally closing. The pressure will not last forever. The heaviness will not control you forever. The confusion will not surround you forever. Peace is returning. Clarity is returning. Strength is returning. And soon you will understand why heaven refused to let you give up. Because your story was never meant to end in defeat. The battle against you is over. And this is only the beginning of what heaven is about to do in your life. Chosen one. There is something your enemies never understood about your life. They thought the pressure surrounding you would eventually break your spirit. They thought the delays would make you quit on your purpose. They thought the emotional pain would slowly destroy your confidence until nothing powerful remained inside you. But Michael says they completely underestimated the protection covering your destiny. Because what they saw as weakness, heaven saw as survival. And survival became proof that your purpose was still alive. There were moments when even you believed you were losing yourself. Moments when your energy became so low that getting through the day felt exhausting. Moments when your heart became tired of hoping, tired of fighting, tired of carrying invisible pain nobody else seemed to understand. Michael says heaven watched every one of those moments carefully. Not one tear was ignored. Not one prayer disappeared. Not one sleepless night went unnoticed. Even during the silence, heaven was still protecting you. Chosen one, people around you only saw pieces of your struggle. They saw the outside version of you, the smile, the silence, the moments where you pretended everything was okay. But they never saw the emotional wars happening inside your spirit. They never saw the nights where your thoughts became heavy, the moments where fear whispered lies into your mind, the moments where disappointment made you question whether your future would ever change. Michael says darkness wanted you mentally exhausted because exhausted souls become easier to control. That is why the attacks often came all at once. Problems after problems, stress after stress, disappointment after disappointment, as if life was trying to suffocate your peace completely. But somehow you kept surviving. And Michael says your survival was never ordinary, because many of the battles surrounding you were meant to completely stop your growth. Some people secretly expected you to fail. Some secretly celebrated your struggles. Some smiled in front of you while carrying jealousy inside their hearts. And the painful part is, not every enemy looked like an enemy. Some hid behind friendship. Some hid behind love. Some hid behind fake support. Michael says one of the hardest lessons chosen ones learn is this: not everyone around you wants to see you rise. Some people only feel comfortable when your light becomes smaller. Some people only stay close while you are struggling, because your healing threatens their control. Your confidence exposes their insecurity, and your growth reminds them of the potential they ignored within themselves. Chosen one, this is why certain relationships suddenly became heavy. This is why some conversations drained your spirit. This is why your energy changed around certain people without explanation. Your spirit was sensing what your eyes could not fully see yet. Michael says discernment was growing inside you. Slowly, heaven was teaching you who truly belonged in your life and who only came to delay your peace. First, this separation hurt deeply. You questioned why people changed toward you. You questioned why support disappeared. You questioned why certain people abandoned you during your hardest seasons. But now you are beginning to understand something important. Some people were never assigned to your future. They were only temporary chapters, lessons, preparation. Michael says if certain people had remained close to you, they would have damaged the next season heaven prepared for your life. So what felt like rejection was actually protection. What felt like abandonment was actually redirection. And what felt like loss was actually spiritual clearing. Chosen one, there is another reason darkness fought you so hard. Because your future carries influence. Not influence in the way the world measures it, but spiritual influence. Your story is meant to inspire people. Your healing is meant to help others heal. Your survival is meant to remind broken people that giving up is not the answer. And darkness recognized that before you fully recognized it yourself. That is why your battles became unusually intense. The enemy attacks purpose aggressively, especially before breakthrough seasons. Michael says many chosen ones almost quit right before everything changes, right before clarity arrives, right before restoration begins, right before heaven opens the doors they spent years praying for. And that is why this message matters so much right now. Because Michael says the battle surrounding your life is weakening. The heaviness is breaking. The emotional chains are losing power. You may not fully see the change yet physically, but spiritually, movement has already started. This is why your mindset is shifting lately. This is why you suddenly crave peace more than attention. This is why fake energy has become easier for you to recognize. This is why your spirit feels tired around negativity now. You are evolving. The version of you that entered the battle is not the same version listening to this message today. You are wiser now, stronger now, more spiritually aware now. Michael says pain forced growth out of you. Not because heaven wanted to punish you, but because your destiny required preparation. Chosen one, imagine if every blessing had arrived before you learned discernment. Imagine if success entered your life before your spirit matured emotionally. Some of the same things you prayed for earlier would have destroyed you back then. That is why timing mattered. That is why heaven slowed certain things down. Not to deny you, but to prepare you. Michael says there are blessings approaching your life now that require a stronger version of you to handle them correctly. A more peaceful version. A wiser version. A healed version. And despite everything you survived, that transformation is already happening inside your spirit. Chosen one, listen carefully to this next part. Your enemies thought the battle would end with your destruction. But Michael says the battle is ending with your elevation instead. The same person who cried silently at night is becoming stronger. The same person people underestimated is becoming spiritually powerful. The same person who once doubted themselves is slowly awakening to their true worth. And soon, people who ignored your value will begin noticing your transformation. Not because you became fake, not because you changed your soul, but because the light inside you can no longer stay hidden after everything you survived. Michael says your comeback will confuse people, because they saw the struggle, but they never saw the protection. They saw the pressure, but they never saw heaven fighting for you behind the scenes. And now, chosen one, the season of survival is slowly ending. A new chapter is beginning. A chapter where peace returns. A chapter where clarity returns. A chapter where your spirit finally breathes again after carrying so much heaviness for so long. Because Michael says the battle against you is over. And what comes next will reveal why heaven refused to let you fall. Chosen one, Michael says there are signs appearing around your life right now that reveal the battle against you is finally coming to an end. Not loud signs, not dramatic signs, quiet changes, small shifts, moments that seem ordinary at first, but spiritually, they mean everything. The first sign is this: You are beginning to feel emotionally lighter, not completely healed yet, not completely free from stress yet, but lighter. The heaviness that once followed you every single day is slowly losing its grip on your spirit. There were seasons where you woke up already exhausted, seasons where anxiety followed you everywhere, seasons where even resting did not fully restore your energy. But Michael says heaven has already started lifting that burden little by little. And even though you still have difficult moments, something inside you knows the worst part of the battle is ending. Chosen one, the second sign is separation. People are leaving your life, some slowly, some suddenly. Conversations feel different now. Connections that once felt strong suddenly feel distant. And at first, this confused you emotionally. You wondered if maybe you did something wrong. Maybe people changed because of you. But Michael says many of these separations are spiritual. Not everyone can enter the next chapter heaven is preparing for you. Some people were connected to your old season only. Some carried energy that no longer matches where your spirit is going. And some people secretly benefited from your pain, insecurity, or confusion. So heaven began removing them quietly, not to hurt you, but to protect your peace. Chosen one, another sign the battle is ending is this. Your discernment is becoming stronger. You notice energy differently now. You notice manipulation faster. You notice fake intentions quicker. Things your spirit ignored before now immediately feel wrong. Michael says this is spiritual growth. The battle sharpened your awareness. Pain taught you what peace truly feels like. Betrayal taught you what genuine loyalty looks like. And now your spirit no longer wants chaos the way it once did. This is why certain environments suddenly feel heavy to you. Certain conversations drain you quickly. Certain people make your energy feel exhausted without explanation. Your spirit is warning you. And Michael says you must listen carefully during this season. Because discernment is one of the greatest protections heaven gives chosen souls. The next sign is unexpected peace. Chosen one, this part is important. Even though your life may not be perfect yet, there are moments now where peace suddenly enters your spirit without reason. Moments where fear becomes quiet. Moments where your heart feels calm. Moments where you stop overthinking everything for a little while. Michael says peace is often the first sign that heaven has already taken control of the battle behind the scenes. Because when darkness loses authority over your mind, your spirit begins breathing differently. You stop panicking constantly. You stop chasing validation from everyone around you. You stop reacting emotionally to every negative situation. And slowly, your inner strength returns. Chosen one. Another sign the battle is ending is that new opportunities are beginning to appear around your life. Small doors are opening. New ideas are entering your mind. Unexpected conversations are happening. People are starting to notice your value differently. Michael says this is not random. This is restoration beginning quietly. The same life that once felt blocked in every direction is finally starting to move again. And even if progress feels slow right now, movement itself is a sign that your season is changing. Do not ignore small victories. Do not ignore little moments of progress. Because major breakthroughs often begin with tiny changes people overlook in the beginning. Chosen one. Michael also says your spirit is becoming stronger than your fear now. That is one of the clearest signs the battle is ending. Fear once controlled your thoughts completely. Fear made you doubt yourself. Fear made you expect rejection before anything even happened. Fear convinced you that your future would never improve. But now something is changing. You are slowly beginning to believe in your survival again. You are beginning to believe that peace is possible again. You are beginning to feel hope returning after a very long season of emotional exhaustion. And Michael says hope returning to your spirit is proof that darkness is losing power over your life. Chosen one, listen carefully. The battle is ending not because you became perfect, but because you became stronger, wiser, more spiritually awake. The old version of you would not recognize the person you are becoming now. And that transformation is exactly why heaven allowed you to survive every painful season before this moment. Because your future required a stronger spirit, a more discerning heart, a more awakened soul. Michael says, do not fear the changes happening around you right now. Even if certain endings hurt, even if some separations feel painful, even if your journey still feels uncertain at times, trust what heaven is doing behind the scenes, because the chapter of constant warfare is slowly closing, and a new season filled with clarity, peace, healing, and restoration is already beginning to rise over your life. The battle against you is over, and soon, even you will begin seeing the evidence with your own eyes. Chosen one. There is something your enemies never expected to happen after everything they put you through. They expected the pressure to destroy your confidence. They expected the betrayal to harden your heart permanently. They expected the delays to make you lose faith in yourself. But Michael says the battle produced the exact opposite effect. Instead of destroying you, it awakened you. And that is why darkness is losing its grip over your life now. Because the version of you that exists today is no longer asleep spiritually. You see differently now. You feel energy differently now. You understand people differently now. Pain forced your spirit to mature. Chosen one, think about who you used to be before the battle became intense. You trusted people too easily. You ignored red flags. You stayed in environments that slowly drained your peace. You gave energy to people who never truly valued your heart. And many times you kept shrinking yourself just to keep others comfortable around you. But Michael says suffering changed something inside you. Not in a negative way, in a necessary way. The battle taught you discernment. The battle taught you boundaries. The battle taught you how valuable your peace truly is. And now, you no longer tolerate what once destroyed your spirit quietly. That transformation is powerful. Because many chosen ones spend years trying to save everyone around them while slowly losing themselves in the process. But Michael says heaven never created you to abandon yourself for people who refuse to respect your soul. That is why certain relationships collapsed. That is why some friendships suddenly became distant. That is why some people became uncomfortable around your growth. Your spirit outgrew environments connected to your old pain. Chosen one, your enemies also never expected your silence to become strength. There was a time when you constantly explained yourself, constantly defended your intentions, constantly tried to make people understand your heart. But now something has changed. You are learning that peace is more valuable than winning every argument. You are learning that not everyone deserves access to your energy. You are learning that protecting your spirit is not selfish. Michael says this emotional growth is part of your elevation, because your next season requires wisdom, not constant emotional chaos. The old version of you reacted emotionally to everything. The new version observes carefully first. The old version chased approval. The new version values inner peace. The old version feared being alone. The new version understands that isolation sometimes protects destiny. Chosen one, Michael says another thing your enemies never expected was this. They never expected heaven to turn your pain into preparation. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every delay taught patience. Every lonely season strengthened your connection with your spirit. Every disappointment forced you to depend less on temporary things. And slowly, you became stronger without even realizing it. The attacks that were supposed to weaken you ended up building resilience inside your soul. That is why you survived things people thought would permanently break you. Because heaven was secretly transforming you through the struggle. Michael says many people only see blessings as rewards. But sometimes protection is the greatest blessing of all. Think about the opportunities that disappeared. At the time, you felt rejected. You felt disappointed. You questioned why things were not working. But later, many of those same situations revealed hidden problems you could not see before. Michael says some closed doors protected your future from destruction. Some delayed blessings protected you from premature success. Some painful endings prevented deeper pain later. And now you are finally beginning to understand why certain things had to fall apart. Because your next chapter requires a different environment around your spirit. Chosen one, there is also something important you must prepare for during this new season. Michael says people who ignored your value may suddenly try returning. People who disappeared during your hardest moments may suddenly act supportive again. People who underestimated you may suddenly become curious about your life. But listen carefully. Not everyone who returns deserves access to the healed version of you. Some people only reconnect when they sense your energy changing, when they sense your breakthrough approaching, when they notice your confidence growing. Michael says discernment will protect your peace during this next chapter. Do not reopen every door heaven closed. Do not return to environments that constantly damaged your spirit. Do not allow loneliness to reconnect you with people who were assigned to your pain instead of your growth. Chosen one, your healing is sacred now. Your peace is sacred now. Your energy is sacred now. Protect it carefully, because the battle may be ending, but your next season still requires wisdom. Michael says your life is entering a powerful transformation. You are becoming emotionally stronger, spiritually sharper, mentally clearer, and the same darkness that once tried to bury your future is now being forced to watch your elevation instead. That is the part your enemies never expected. They expected your destruction, but heaven prepared your transformation instead. And soon, the people who once doubted your future will become witnesses to your rise. Not because revenge is coming, but because your survival itself became proof that heaven never stopped protecting your destiny. Chosen one, the battle against you is over, and now your spirit is finally preparing to step into the life that all this pain was secretly preparing you for. If this message spoke directly to your spirit today, don't ignore it. Take a moment right now and type in the comments, "The battle is over." And if you truly believe Archangel Michael is guiding you into a new season of peace, strength, and victory, then make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this message with someone who needs this encouragement today. Because chosen one, you are not here by accident, and your greatest chapter is only beginning.